those who are able, can you please take a knee as we have a brief moment of silence for all the slain innocent, most recently, Mr. George Floyd, going all the way back to Emmett Till and other African Americans.
Dozens of residents participate in a community vigil to honor the memory of George Floyd and others. The event, which was one of many, was held at Allen Pond Park.
You see, I, like so many other parents of Black and brown children, have to have those conversations about how to conduct yourself if stopped by the police. You see, I understand firsthand what it's like. My father was a police officer. But to this day, I can never forget the sound of that gun being placed to my head by a white officer and the trigger being cocked. I never forget the sound of the slide of that 12-gauge shotgun echoing in that stairwell. I never forget what it was to run for my life, knowing that if I fell, that I would probably never get up again. You see, I understand that hate also knows no color. Because I also, as a kid, looked at Tim Weber on the ground with a bullet through his head, all because of the color of his skin. But you see, I had a different perspective from that moment on because Tim was white. And so I say to you again, hate has no color.
Thanks to all of you who have come here today, this beautiful mosaic of the diversity of our Bowie, for your commitment to our city, to your neighbors, to our neighbors and each other, to being seen and yes, being heard. Your calls for peaceful and necessary change that we as a country dare not ignore, even in a time of personal risk because of a viral pandemic.
That we have 20/20 vision on this issue. What's our next step? We stay awake. We stay vigilant in our community. We hold me and all the other public officials, elected officials, appointed officials accountable.
Imagine me in this uniform sitting on this chair while comments were made. Comments that involve a profession that I dearly love and respect, that I've done for 28 years and committed my life to. But the undeniable, indisputable fact remains that my profession has been on the wrong side of history numerous times. And it's our burden, our duty, to do what we can to fix it.
I have Black prosecutors who are enforcing the law in this county who can't breathe when they go out with their families. I know that we have elected officials sitting on this stage who create laws to provide for all of us, yet those same laws can be used against them, and they understand that too. I understand that Chief Nesky has officers who are Black officers here in Bowie, and if they take off their uniform, they can't breathe either. And so what I decided is that I'm not going to be comfortable taking full breaths until all of my brothers can be comfortable taking full breaths. Because a few miles from here, a younger generation, my generation, men and women of different colors are coming together to restore the character and justice in America. And they're doing it because they have gained a perspective from a previous generation. I am so proud of my generation. I am. For the first time, we're coming together in a very,
real way. But we cannot give up, as John Lewis says. We cannot give in. We cannot become bitter or hostile. We must confront our problems head on.
I'm Shellamaya Griffiths Johnson. I'm 12 years old. I'm unarmed and have nothing that will hurt you. You see, that's what my mom told me at the age of 7 to say if I ever encountered police. Now, please tell me why she would have to tell me that.
Intensive parenting is becoming more and more common among the Black and brown community. Intensive parenting. Raising a Black son requires me to strip him of his innocence at an early age so that he learns to be vigilant as he's burdened with understanding things way beyond his years, solely so that he may embrace adulthood. My concern for my Black son is inequality. It's the shadow that follows our children in the hallways of their schools, where Black children, especially boys, are perceived to be troublemakers long before they've done anything wrong.
While listening to everybody, I had to get up and go sit out there in the grass with you and really hear what was being said, really understand and visualize and see the pain that you're experiencing right now. Understand that we feel that. And I don't want to give you a speech. I just want to tell you that we will do better.
The event was organized by Bowie residents Sheila Griffiths and Tamika Washington.
The intention for the vigil was for the city of Bowie to come together and say that racism has no place in our community. And I wanted it to be not just the residents, but the city council. I wanted the police department there so that we could stand shoulder to shoulder and say that that has no place in our community, and we stand with the protesters around the world. And one of the reasons why I wanted to have it in Bowie is because I wanted to have a place that I knew I could go and take my children and be safe. And that's exactly what it was. The event was everything I had hoped it would be. It was peaceful, it was full of hope, it was full of sorrow, it was full of joy, and I feel like it was the beginning of the conversation we need to be having as a community.